I wanted to make this quick video about replacing a magnet on a frameless shower stall door because I had such a hard time finding it myself. In fact, I never did. But I'll post a link to the actual part you need if you have a situation like I have here, where you have a shower stall like this with a frameless door where the magnet has rusted out. So these parts, as you'll find, are pretty expensive, but and it's kind of a pain in the butt to replace. And I've already done it, so I can't show you the actual process, but I can tell you what I did. So what we had was this magnet here was completely rusted out after probably 10 years of use. So what I had to do was I had to take off this piece here, which is I think it's called the jamb extender, because it actually moves, or can be placed to kind of close the gap between the door and the rest of the shower stall. I'll show you the inside. There's 3 screws. I mistakenly initially took off the top piece here, but that's not really necessary. There are 3 screws. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one at the bottom. You just take those out and kind of wiggle the extender out. It just is a sleeve over this piece of the shower. And once you get it out, there's this kind of weather stripping here that just kind of slides out. There's a groove inside this channel here. Inside both sides of the channel is kind of like a groove on each side. So this is kind of a T shape. So this weather stripping just slides out. There's nothing keeping it in there other than friction. And the hardest part was really getting the old magnet out. So the old magnet had rusted so bad you couldn't take it out. So it took me quite a while. I used a flathead screwdriver, as I found a suggestion on one site to do. And that got most of it out, but it left all the rusted pieces within inside the channel here in there. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the new piece in with the rust still in, rusty pieces still in there. So ended up using every method I could think of. I used a smaller flathead screwdriver to kind of chip away at it. I ended up eventually using a little Dremel tool. Of course, it was a little too big, and it ate up a bit on the inside of the jamb here, as you can see. So that's not ideal. But really couldn't figure out a way to get all those rusty pieces out. In fact, didn't really get it all out. But once you get this new piece, and again I'll have a link to it, it looks flat, but it's T-shaped in profile. So once you get all that out and you get the piece delivered, this one cost me about 20 bucks, believe it or not, for that little piece of magnet. Once you get it, then you can slide out this weather stripping, and this slides right down into the channel very nicely. But then when you get to the rusted pieces, I had to use a dowel and a hammer to kind of hammer it down into place, and now it's in there firmly. If I didn't have those rusted pieces in there, I'm not sure what would keep it in place other than the weather stripping. That's probably enough. But now it works like a charm. It catches fairly lightly, but it holds, and it works. So hopefully this helps someone.